Praise Him. Thank you for tuning into this video. I want to talk to you guys today about setting boundaries. Listen, some of us need to get on guard. Some of us need to start stepping up and setting boundaries for ourselves. One thing we will find out is that when we do not set boundaries, we are opening up a door of opportunity for somebody to either walk over us or do as they please. And when you set boundaries, that's when you're setting those boundaries to say, hey, this is no longer going to happen. Some of us have been in relationships for so long that we have allowed certain things to happen. And as we get older, our attitudes change, the way we behave change. We become older people, right? Which means that you should grow in age, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. We should grow in so many areas of our lives as we get older. What happens is sometimes when we are in relationships, marriages, friendships, on a job, a workmanship, we sometimes get so comfortable with letting things slide that we don't set boundaries. And then we get to that point that we want to set a boundary and we don't know how to set a boundary because we have allowed certain behaviors to happen for so long. And when we have allowed certain behaviors to take place for so long, it's often hard for us to turn around and say, no, I'm not having it no more, or even just to set a boundary because now we fear what that person is going to say. We're afraid that things are going to change in our relationships, friendships, or whatever ship it is. We sometimes don't know how to address it, right? But I want to say to somebody, it's okay to set boundaries. I don't care if it's been years of this behavior going on. Sometimes we have to say enough is enough. I'm not taking it no more. I'm done with accepting whatever is thrown my way. There was a good thing in setting boundaries, okay? Sometimes you may be in a friendship to where that person may slip up and be saying certain comments to you. They may be joking, but it's offensive to you. And you going with the flow and laughing with it, but deep down inside, it's hurting you. You're not setting that boundary. It's time to set those boundaries. Maybe you are in a friendship that you feel like, hey, every time we set a date to hang out or do something, they end up standing me up, or at the last minute they turn around and be like, I'm not going to be able to go. Hey, it's okay. You have to set a boundary. Maybe you are on a job and you're working and your boss, maybe they're getting a little bit too close to you. Maybe they're clinging too much to you. Maybe they're saying things that are derogatory towards you. Maybe they are acting as if they like you in a way that's making you uncomfortable. Hey, you have to set a boundary. Maybe you're in a friendship and that friend always want to talk about other people. At one point, you may have been in that position to where you were talking about them, but now you have grown in who you are and have learned who you have become. Now you no longer want to do those things, and they're doing it every time they turn around because they're used to the old you, and a new you has taken on. And what has happened is now all of a sudden they comfortable because they're used to you having this behavior. And so now I have to say to you, it's okay to set a boundary. Listen, maybe you're in a marriage and that husband or that wife have said so many things to hurt your feelings, and you're one of those that just let it slide off your shoulder. Maybe you're one of those that let it go over your head. Maybe you're one of those who be like, you know what, I'm not even going to address this. I'm going to let this slide. How many times do you let stuff slide that's hurting your feelings? How many times do you let stuff slide that's making you feel uncomfortable? It's time to set some boundaries. Maybe, just maybe, you have a family member who is in your life and they are always humiliating you. Every time they come around you, they have something negative to say about you or towards you. Maybe you have been raised by your mother or your father or some other caregiver, and they always have something negative to say to you. Hey, it's time to set boundaries. It's okay to set boundaries. When you love yourself enough and you establish that covenant with yourself of knowing who you are and whose you are, it is time you start to set boundaries. I'm telling you, when you learn to set boundaries, you will see that you are loving yourself more. You're not uncomfortable even more than what you were. You are feeling better about yourself. You're not in that uncomfortable space. Because I'm going to share something with you. When you do not set boundaries, people get so comfortable in behaving the way they do, when they do, and however they do, because you have allowed it. It's time to put a stop to those things. Maybe, just maybe, you are working somewhere and you feel like one of your coworkers is coming too close to you, or they're always coming to your desk, or they're always coming to your cubicle. They're always up under you, or they're winking their eye, or saying certain things that make you uncomfortable, and all you do is brush it off. It's okay. Set a boundary. Don't, because one thing I have learned is that when a person make you uncomfortable, they put you in a place of position of uncomfortableness. Sometimes they don't even know that they're making you uncomfortable because of you and smiling to that person. You're basically giving them a silent okay. You're basically giving them a silent acknowledgement. And so what has to happen, you may have to pull that person to the side and say, hey, I get it. I see what you're doing, and I wasn't really paying attention to it, or whatever the case may be. It's making me uncomfortable. Can you stop? It's not always easy to set boundaries, but I need you to understand that it is okay to set healthy boundaries. How do I set these boundaries, Alicia? I'm going to say this. If something is making you uncomfortable, and it's putting you in a place, in a position that you have to sit back and think about how it made you feel, or maybe it just you carry it for days or hours, and it's just an uncomfortable feeling. I want to say to you, it is time to set a boundary. Maybe you're in a relationship, right? And that marriage or that relationship or whatever, it's abusive. You're allowing them to verbally abuse you. You're allowing them to physically abuse you. You know that you no longer want to deal with it, but you're afraid of saying something to that person because you're afraid of being abused. You're afraid of them saying something else to you. Listen, you have to set boundaries. That means you step up and you don't accept whatever is being given unto you. But I want you guys to know that it's okay. When you set boundaries, you will feel so much better about yourself. Your inner man will become happy, or your inner woman will become happier. And so my thing is this. How do I set boundaries, Alicia? You set boundaries by, if it's making you uncomfortable, you're pulling that person to the side and explaining to them, hey, this is making me uncomfortable. And if you're in a friendship and this friendship is making you feel uneasy, hey, listen, I know, especially if you're friends, if you have been friends, then that person should understand where you're coming from. Maybe some don't. But listen, you say to them, hey, I know we've been friends for blah, blah, blah. And there are some things that you be saying to me and I just brush it off, but I'm asking you to stop because I don't like it. You set those boundaries. You let that person know how you feel. You just set the boundaries and saying, hey, I have been doing this for so long. I've accepted it for so long, but I'm no longer willing to take it. And I don't want you to feel as if I'm coming down on you, but it is making me feel a certain way. So I have to step up and say something. And they said, well, why you was laughing all that time? Or, you was smiling, and why you didn't say nothing? Because I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to say it, but I'm saying it now. And so I'm saying this to somebody. Please start setting boundaries. In order for you to get ahead towards anything or overcome anything that's bothering you, making you uncomfortable, you have to set that boundary. Okay? Until we meet in the next video, I pray that God bless you. I pray that you are encouraged and inspired. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. For this to somebody may be needing to hear this. It may not be for you, but it may be for somebody else. Encourage somebody, lift them up, tell somebody you love them on today. Life is so short, so short. Okay, so until we meet again in the next video, I will talk to you later. God bless you, and I love you with the love of Jesus Christ. Bye for now.